Dave, is that you? Dave, is that you?
Yes, that's me. Can't you see?
I'm having a hard time seeing you. Is your microphone on?
Hello, testing, testing.
Seems to be on. Here, let me see if your camera's on. Oh yeah, your
Yeah.
camera's on. Okay.
So it's the glasses.
It's the glass. It's the glass. These are special glasses. They show me how I look.
Oh,
I see
you only see
myself.
yourself.
I only see myself. It's fantastic. I love it. It's my favorite show. The Jeff Show.
It's everyone's favorite show.
Yeah. So how are you? Oh, by the way,
Good. This is
the two half squads.
the one and only podcast on the net dedicated 100-ish% to the greatest game in the world.
Advanced Squad Leader.
And I am Dave.
And I'm Jeff, and we are your hosts. Once again, this is episode 317, probably.
I think so.
Yep. So good to see you. Where have you been?
To Florida.
Oh,
Flew out Monday. Midway. Have you flown Midway
out of Midway Airport?
instead of O'Hare?
Not for a very long time.
Easy cheesy.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
Security was a breeze.
Yeah. They don't have security, do they?
They do.
Oh, they do.
Yes. But there's no lines. And the pickup, Laura left something in there. She had to go back in the airport. And when we arrived back in Illinois, we drove back around again. She jumped out, and it's the departure
Yeah.
zone. Here it's 2 cars deep.
Yeah.
Sometimes 3 to pick someone up,
Right.
and sometimes departures. But this was the pickup zone at Midway.
Yeah.
Because that's where we walked out, got on the tram, went to our car.
Yeah.
And boom, just pulled right up to the curb. She ran in the building, went and found the item she lost, and got back in the car.
Oh, great. Her diamond brooch.
I'm not at liberty to say. Her phone, we'll just say it was her.
Okay, we'll say it was her phone. Which is not a phone anymore. You know, I'm filing a lawsuit against the phone company. Because it's not a phone, it's a multifunction device. I refuse to call it a phone. I'm not going to use that term anymore. It's a multifunction device. I rarely use it as a phone, and I will not stand for this anymore. I want to be represented properly. It's a multifunction device.
My apologies for calling it a phone.
I'm offended.
No, it is. It's like I've said before at school, that when the computer took over all the functions of my CD player, slide projector.
Yeah.
Everything.
Your
Storage unit.
It's a sad thing to see that slide projector go.
Well, remember, I don't want to
strips.
repeat the same stories, but when I would break out that slide projector for my art demonstration that one day a year, they loved it because it was mechanical.
Yeah. Oh.
Like, it's moving and it's showing pictures.
Yeah.
How does it do that?
It's amazing, which makes me think of, I mentioned this to you at breakfast not too long ago. There's if you go on YouTube and look up Periscope Films, there's a company that has a channel. And they're based in California, and what they do is they go around to all of the film warehouses of all different kinds, not just Hollywood, but B movies, B-lot stuff that Hollywood made for the War Department during World War II and during the Korean War and everything, and all kinds of training films and company films from Ford and GM and electric companies and just all this kind of stuff.
I used to love the electric company.
And
that on Channel 11.
I know. I knew I shouldn't have said
company.
Well, they're transferring all this stuff to digital and making it available. So if you go on YouTube and look up Periscope Films, you'll see lots of World War II stuff. And I told you, and I sent you a link for how to crack a tank.
Yeah. Which
was really good. It made blowing up a tank really look easy and like fun and nothing to be afraid of.
I saw the Bangalore torpedo.
Yeah, the Bangalore torpedo. I saw that one the other day. Look how easy it is to put together. And the guys, they're all clean, you know. They will
run up to the pillbox.
Yeah, put it in there.
Poke that thing.
Yeah. So Periscope Films. I'm not getting anything for that.
You mean that as a brought to you by?
Yeah.
Ding ding.
Periscope Films.
Now
Okay.
they owe us.
Love
You
that
owe us
stuff.
Periscope
Yeah,
Films.
yeah.
And we're never gonna forget it. Never.
So what were you doing at the airport? You're going to Florida.
Florida. I went
Oh,
to
okay.
see Laura's brother and family, and great house, lizards, fun. The weather was fine, wonderful beaches. I'm not a beach guy, so half day at the beach. You can see I'm a little ruddy, got a little bit of sun. There's a
Oh,
little
Dave is
tan
showing
line
those
for-
of you not watching. It's worth tuning into YouTube to see Dave's chest.
And we had our 30th wedding anniversary dinner at El Camino.
Really?
Not the movie from the Breaking Bad series finale, but the restaurant in West Palm Beach, because they live in Stewart. And then we dropped them off to see, the Wizard of Oz new movie about the Bad Witch from her perspective called
Wicked.
Thank you. And Megan and the two of them parents saw that. And then Laura and I went to our 30th anniversary dinner.
How about that? In Palm Beach.
Yeah, and there's a very cool, like, outdoor shopping center-y thing with all the cool restaurants and designed. So we're looking at, like, is this designed for this kind of restaurant? No. It's outdoor. I mean, it's got lights. It's kind of Disney-esque.
Yeah.
I would say.
That's a very swanky area with were there any other celebrities besides you?
Oh, lots and lots.
Oh, there were.
Yeah, but people kept going, is that that guy from the Maverick movies? Or wait, that's Dave from the Half Squads.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
So
yeah,
I was a distraction.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
You almost need to go incognito.
Yeah, which usually
disguise.
I've said before, if I just wear a hat,
and pants,
you can't tell
we will know
who I am. I think bald men, if they wear hats, suddenly no one knows us.
I'll have to put on my baldy wig and go.
Oh,
I've got a friend in Palm Beach that wants me to come down and visit him, but I think I have the same issue. I don't want to go and be a distraction to all Sylvester Stallone and all those other people that are dying for attention. I personally, I don't care. I eschew the all the
your Gesundheit.
Pardon me?
Gesundheit.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you. I eschew and you bless me.
Hey, you know how on the back of this shirt, the blue ones we got, it shows me falling down the steps?
Yes.
Are you electrocuting yourself? I just realized now that we're on YouTube, the viewers can see the actual stairs I fell down.
Yes, that's right.
Look at that. Yeah. That's how far I fell.
Yeah.
So anyway, but Jeff at his house in Florida, he said when they had the big storm last time that came through, they evacuated.
Yeah.
The house was fine, but there was some flooding and stuff. And we got home, they said there was they heard this like, and they're like, what is that? And it's on the big glass sliding door. And they look out there, just this giant crab sitting there with his pincher. Like, let me in.
Really?
And he sat there, they said, for like 10 minutes. Tapping on the
window.
Yeah. And then finally he scuttled off.
Reminds me of the Edgar Allan Poe.
With the raven? Or
the crab. That famous the famous poem he wrote. The crab. Nevermore. Wasn't that it? Yeah. Tap to the crab.
Nevermore.
And that's yes.
Yeah, isn't that funny though?
That is.
So it just sat there.
Well, you never can tell about crabs.
No, they didn't know what he wanted. They kept saying, like, what do you want?
You can shout at them as much as you want. They will not tell you.
No, you just
crabs are
just
very
tapping.
Tight. They are very tight.
And they even looked up Morse code to see if that he was tapping a message. Oh boy.
It's where Gilligan, it's probably the coordinates where Gilligan's Island is or something. Well, I'm glad you got back and glad to be here with you in the broadcast foxhole for another exciting episode.
Certainly is. We are going to attempt to do some letters, maybe half of the rules segment to get to the second half of our interview from last show.
Yes. With the Dinant dudes.
The Dukes of Dinant.
Yeah, brilliant title, by the way.
Part 2.
Yeah.
They're more than worthy.
Yes.
They are where they.
So we'll go to letters. Oh, we have a voice message. Should we do that first?
Yes, because that music, of course, means it is time for
Time
letters.
for letters, etc.
So we have a voice letter.
From Carl Nogueira. Let's play that now.
Let's do.
Gentlemen, Carl Nogueira, just letting you know that the website yankeeasl.com, all lowercase, is open in the Best of the Bunker pack featuring 20 scenarios from scenarios 57 to 158. The best 20 of those, in my and Tom Warren and Vic Provost's opinion, are part of that pack. It's $40 PDF only on yankeeasl.com.
Thank you, Carl.
Sounds like a great pack of adventures.
Yes. Yes.
D&D talk scenarios.
He's got that way of making everybody want to order it. Everybody order a set.
And we'd like to thank our Patreons for supporting us tonight. That was Hayes Wolford, Russ Ryder, Gordon Mullock, John Bullock, Christian Holmes, Daryl Anderson, Joe Buffett, Harry Lee, Mark Bergen, Rip Von Minden, Carl Herzog, Apollo, Preston Youngkins, for your continued support, and many more that we'll name on later shows.
Yes, thank you very much, everybody.
And Adam Mays, John Trainer, subscribe to us on YouTube. So thanks, guys.
Oh, great. Love it. I've got a letter here. Let's jump in. I've got a letter here from Reuben James. Isn't that a song by Kenny Rogers? Reuben James, he can walk.
For real?
No, I think it's Ruby Jane.
Oh, it's not Rudy. Don't take your love to town.
No.
That's such a sad song. Have
It
you actually
is,
listened
yeah.
to it?
Yes. I don't usually listen to the lyrics.
Yeah,
but-
you know how I like to listen to the lyrics and
Yeah.
try to analyze them. Somehow I got to that song. Like, how did this come? You know, maybe a suggestion in my
Yeah.
YouTube feed or whatever. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so sad.
Just listen to the two half squads. You'll feel better. So this from Reuben James. Thank you for another stellar episode of ASL content. This What's in the Box segment was great. Cows in ASL. Awesome. I also endorse the idea of having Doug Rimmer on in future episodes for Vassal updates. If that works out, that would be a nice addition to this already fantastic show. Thank you, Reuben. That's a great idea. And we do intend to do that whenever Doug is available.
Yeah, and as things develop.
Yeah.
Because I guess they're not going to have weekly massive cool updates every week.
Probably not. As much as we developers, I include myself in that, as much as we try, we're still only human.
This is a letter from Alan, but he's giving us an update here on the tournament. So this should be interesting. He says, I got back from Heroes last night. Quite an adventure. My car broke down the day before. I was due to pick up Rod and head over to John's house on Broxburn, where we were all going down in John's car. So I had to miss the trip down with the guys, but I caught the train. It was in Blackpool, meeting Pete at the station around 2:30. Walked to the hotel where they had kindly made me some lunch. So I got a cup of tea and a toastie before dropping off all my kit in the room I was sharing with John. I just have to read that because it's so Scottish.
Yeah.
In English. Now we're going to get mail complaining that I don't know if toasty is a Scottish term or an English term or both.
Yeah. Are you even sure we can say toasty on
I
there?
don't know. I don't even know what it means, really.
Yeah. We could be in big trouble here from the FCC or the FTC. FCC.
Martin Vicka had received his copy of Drop Zone already from Second Chance Games. Ding, 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 ding. Not a sponsor, though. So he very kindly brought it down from Aberdeen with him so everyone could see it. Second Chance Games were due to attend the tournament, but sadly had to cancel at the last minute. John Tate was over from Germany. He was the only international visitor this year. I didn't play many games. In fact, I did win the game that I played against John Martin. And it was hotly contested, went down to the last turn. Very stressful, to be honest. I was kind of glad when it was over. And very happy that I had won. Pete went out to the Tash Rock Club and Craig Ben won the tournament for the 5th time in a hotly contested final with Mark Blackmore. Congratulations, Craig, on your victory. I'll probably be heading down to Blackpool and Headlands Hotel for the Bounding First Fire tournament in November. I've never been before. It will mean missing out going to Germany for Grenadier, though. All the best, Alan Hume. Alan, thanks for the update on the part of the European tournament scene.
Thank you very much, Alan. Got a letter here from Dennis Donovan. Now, we're not on Facebook. We are not, but Dennis is. And so he passed along the fact that Mr. Mark Pitcavage posted a picture of the cow rules example. And we had talked about cow rules recently in a previous episode. And so Dennis needed to post a response to Mark's cow rules example. And just so you don't know, Dennis is a punster. Dennis says, "This is utterly fascinating. I'd heard of this before, but I thought it was a bunch of bull. I hope this module becomes the new cash cow for the vendor and they can milk it for everything it's worth." We're pausing for laughter, the laughter to die down. "I think it would behoove us to read the rules so we can steer clear of any misunderstandings while playing a scenario, especially at a tournament, as there would be a lot at stake. You don't want to beef with anyone. Heffery ASLer out there, you have to study the above example. Grab the bull by the horns, get off your derriere, and do it now. I'm sure you'll be giving it your stampede of approval." Boy, Dennis, you creamed that one. I gotta say, very moving. Nothing cheesy there.
You two guys, Dennis visited us in person,
Yes.
and it was an extraordinarily wonderful
Yeah,
time.
we had a great time. We got to do that again.
And he sent a new song, so hopefully in the next couple of shows we'll
Yes.
get around to that too.
Yes, hope so.
Well, Preston says, so if Rommel gets killed at Dinant, does the history of the Africa Corps need to be rewritten? And the answer is, Preston, no, because ASL is only a game.
It's okay.
No, we appreciate your humor also.
Got one here from Steve Hall. Dinant is my favorite ASL historical module campaign game. Thank you. Okay.
So Steve is telling us to play the campaign
Yes.
game.
Yes, he is.
Yes, that comes with
Because it's his
Dinant.
favorite.
I have a little letter from Mike Knightley. Gents, I just noticed I really forgot to thank you for sending me this link. I apologize. Thank you for taking the time to do so. I'm back in ASL after a time away working on building a players group here in Toledo, Ohio. And where's Laura's family from, everybody?
Toledo,
Ohio. And I should have worn my Tony Pacos hat.
Yes, you should have.
My 2 half squads hat. So I guess when I'm visiting Laura, Mike, if you get this up and running, maybe I'll be able to drop in on a session.
You
sometime.
could, yeah.
He says, I have a couple so far to play, looking for more. I started listening to your podcast from the beginning about 7 months ago, and I'm up to episode 32. Your interview with John Hill. So I figure at this rate, adding in you doing a variable number, a new podcast, it should take me about 5 to 7 years to catch up.
Oh, 5 to 7. Okay.
Years.
I thought it said 57 years.
Well, if you're going to listen to 2 a year,
yeah,
3 a year, it would take
that
long. So Mike, thanks for listening. And are you asking us for people to contact us if they're in Toledo, Ohio area and willing to join your group. We assume you are. So if you're out there, folks, send us a text and we can forward it. Send us a Gmail. We'll
Send
forward
us a
it.
Gmail. All you Toledodians, Toledoans, Toledans,
Toledans.
Toledans,
Toledinians.
Yes. Yes. To leaders. Taters to leaders. Okay, I've got a poem here. Tell me
From
about
Jackson
the poem.
Kwan.
Oh, this is from Jackson
This
Kwan.
is your Chat GPT request idea.
Ah, okay. So Jackson asked Chat GPT to write a poem about Klaus.
And ASL.
Okay, there we go. I mean, this is my first time reading it, so it might be a little rough. Klaus Malmstrom, a hero of ASL. His contributions we cannot tell. Innovations that forever will dwell, for his passion and dedication will swell. From the starter kits to countless scenarios, his talent and skills are never those, creating modules and expansions that flows. With love and care, the game only grows. His advocates and he advocates and spreads the ASL name. Through tournaments and events, he brings the game. Did I say that right? Okay.
It's Chat GPT.
For players new and old, it's all the same. His legacy in ASL forever will remain. For all he's done, we thank you so. For love of ASL, you help us show. Your name in ASL will forever glow. Klaus Malmstrom, a legend, will forever know. That's it's touching. Yeah, it brings a tear to my eye. It does.
So wonderful.
That's pretty amazing.
Well, kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
But hey, it's a start. It's what we asked for.
That's right. Excellent. Thank you, Jackson, for sending that along. And it's so true, though, about Klaus. So,
well, yes,
we'll applaud him.
Yes.
The subject of the poem.
And that is letters, sir.
Sweet. And Dave, I think we should take a moment of silence and thank our wonderful sponsor, Bounding Fire Productions, for all that they do.
We should.
They have been a very good sponsor of ours for years and years, and we just want to acknowledge them. And we want to tell everybody, you can buy ASL products at a lot of different places, but we recommend Bounding Fire. If you want to go get some great stuff, go to boundingfire.com. And now you got to know, they don't have the rule book. You still have to buy the rule book, but they've got great modules. It's a great product. They've got modules like Into the Rubble, tons of fun. Beyond the Beachhead, oodles of fun. High Ground, bundles of fun. Operation Cobra, tons of fun. Blood and Jungle, bales of fun.
Lots of fun.
Yeah. Crucible of Steel,
Intense fun.
very intense fun. Poland in Flames,
Very fun. Well,
hot fun.
except sad with the flames burning
Yes.
the cities.
Corregidor the Rock, a very solid fun. Objective Schmidt,
I played all of them.
so you can attest to the fundity.
Mhm.
I call it the fundity.
Absolutely.
Some people call it the fun factor.
Yep, Mike
call
Rizzi
it
and I.
fundity. Onslaught to Orsha, version 2,
Too.
and most recently Operation Neptune.
Which Dave Timmon and I are starting tomorrow night.
Very exciting. I'll be looking forward to hearing
So
about that.
we'll be tweeting out about those games.
Go to boundingfire.com, buy some of that stuff. They also have products from LaFranc Terrier, and tell them the Two Half Squad sent you, and they will forever be kissing you in
Indeed.
their thoughts.
And we don't have a prize from them, but we have one I put on the YouTube video last time at the end of the credits, and no one caught it or no one wanted to bother to write it for it. So if you send us pack 3 into the subject line, a Gmail, we will send out East Side Gamers Design Pack 3. This contains scenarios 23 to 31 from the very famous Eastside Gamers Design Series.
So that's great. So we'll say by May 1st, have your entry in by May 1st, include in the subject line Pack 3, PAK or PACK if you can't spell in
pack.
Yeah. If it's not enough letters for you. Put in Pack 3 or Pack 3, and we'll enter you into the drawing, and you might win this.
There you go. I'll ship it right out.
Yeah. Great. Thank you, Eastside Gamers.
Shall we go to part 2 of our interview?
Let's do. So here we are picking up for the second half of our interview with the Dukes of Dinant.
Yeah. Carl got to write some rules, man. I'll tell you. It's like we went through some nights just talking about some weird situations. You spent a night talking about a traffic jam because we had 700 trucks in the countermix.
Yeah, we had to work out a way where the guys just walked on, but the trucks could still get in there and transport them if needed. And it kind of comes in play at the last day of and usually the last date or two of the CG is that, okay, you might have your infantry in a pretty good spot, but you got to get them there faster. Well, now you got all these trucks sitting out back, but as reinforcement groups can come in, transportation groups. It's kind of a different type of reinforcement group. It's rare that you'll have a reinforcement group in the CG that's just transport, but that's exactly what's there for, to grab this infantry, get them across, get them where they're going, because it's an exit victory condition. And it's an exit victory condition, and you have to have a funnel. You have to have 30 points of, free of 30 points or more of French firepower, this road that you have going from the beginning from the east to the west. And that's actually been one of the fun things, is getting the AARs back. So far, there's only been 5 that have been reported to Roar, unfortunately, but one was a French blowout. One was last date, the Germans gave up like three turns before the end of the game. Now, all the others have gone to the last date, to the last turn. And one of them was actually decided where, in the French turn, the French had just gotten 30 firepower on the road to cut the road so the Germans couldn't get the VC. And it was, does the CG end 50-50? And the Germans rolled it, went one more turn. They were able to push just enough firepower off to get the win. So you couldn't get closer than that. It was nice to see it. That was all coming down to the last date, because that's kind of one of the knocks on CGs is I went through all this trouble and it was a massacre in 3 days, So fortunately, that hasn't been happening. It's been pretty much going in 80% of the recorded results. It's gone to the last date, so that's good.
Yeah, do
Fantastic.
you guys have some overall, like, just strategic suggestions for players?
Oh wow, there's a lot going on with that, huh, Dan? there's a lot of options.
The first thing you got to do, you got to realize it's a big river. The German players got to realize, don't try to, you can get into the mindset you just want to get across it in one place and have like an egg there that you feel safe with.
Okay.
And it's very easy to get into that, into that, because you get in the base of those cliffs and those stone houses feel good. You don't want to go out of them and figure out a way to get up those cliffs, but you have to.
Yeah, in my mind, I was imagining, am I going to try and do several of these pulley things across here? Or am I going to concentrate, that kind of thought, without even reading, any of the scenarios or more about the...
It's in stages sort of thing. I'm sorry, Dan, I mean, there's different stages. The first stage is, first of all, I try to get some guys across in rafts, try to have enough covering fire to cover them. You got a little mist on the first 3 turns, so you try to take advantage of that. Where possible, you don't want your rafts beached. You actually want to be in the river, and you have inherent crews in the rafts, much like the assault boats of the standard rules, because they actually had people who were designated to just keep rowing. And that was actually one of the early problems Dan and I ran into was, you had this half squad that would have to stay with the raft. So you take a squad and a half across, and half, 1/30 of passengers say, no, I'm not getting off. I'm going back now. Grab another squad. And we looked at that and said, no, that can't be right. And we did a little more research. Okay, I see how they were doing it. And so we decided to give them inherent crews. And if you leave them in the water, ironic as it sounds, they're less vulnerable. If something bad happens, they're dead meat. But if they're on the bank, they get hit with full firepower, infantry firepower. If you're in the water, it's half firepower.
Yeah, right.
So you're much more survivable in the water. The downside to that is now you've got a beach, which is a freebie, but then you got a load. And unlike standard river assault rules, when you push off into the river, you pay a movement point now. It's not a freebie. You know, when we first started, I used to call it electric glide in blue because you just kind of like glide into the raft, glide into the river. Oops, you're on the other side, and off you go. And it was like, wow, they're getting across in a turn. That's not the right feel. You should sweat it in the river for at least one turn's worth of fire, and then get to the other side. That's the feel these guys have.
Which is real historical too, because the maps, as Nadir's pictures showed us, show that to get into a boat anywhere along the shoreline of Dinant, you have to jump down 10 feet to get to the water.
Oh,
They have these like nice little sloped brick things that are, if you try to step off of them, it's a curve. It doesn't go straight down. So you can't like climb. You have to sort of step out and jump into the boat. And it's like you're jumping 10 feet down into a flat bottomed rowboat. It's like, you know, with 8 other guys in it, you're hoping you don't go through the bottom.
And you know, these guys were 60 years old because they weren't going through the bottom, you know.
Yeah.
I tried that. They just say, you know, those gross flocks and things there that can take a tank across. All right, that'll work.
I got a picture of these guys in their underwear, standing there with all their gear on in their underwear. It's just like, you know, ready to cross into a boat, you know? Like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah, 2 for 1. You get a bath and you cross the river.
Yeah.
But no, so you know, that went into it. Another part of it too is just when you're in a boat, if you've ever been in a boat, any type of boat, what's the slowest you're moving ever? It's when you first launch off, because you got to start getting that impetus, you got to start getting that momentum. And in ASL, it was backwards. It was the quickest you'd ever move was when you shoved off. You'd shove off for free. You get halfway across the river for free, spend a point on the other side, and then just beach for free. And it's like, wow, we just got to cross in one player turn.
Yeah.
Not right.
Because the river is 2 or 3 hexes wide in Dinant. And it, you know, it's, you could do that. You could just skate across the river, and it just didn't work. And Paul came up with that. It was like, oh yeah, this will stop them. You know, we've had some people talk about that too. That's, you know, oh, you're gonna pay 1 point to put some, you know, hey, that's the point you got to spend to get off. You know,
yeah.
Otherwise, you can jump in the raft and sit there for a turn, you know, while you wait. But that's not the real way you want to get into the play.
Right. You don't want to sit on the beach in the raft because you won't end up on the beach in the raft.
No.
You'll end up all over the beach, and who knows where the raft will end up. Yes. But so I mean, there were a lot of challenges to it, but it was a lot of fun, guys. A lot of fun. It really was. And that's, I mean, why do it if it's not fun? You know?
Yeah, it was
a very enjoyable experience.
Yeah, it's a great product. Great addition to the whole, you know, game that they put it in there. And what anything coming up in the future we could talk about before we sign off today? Unless it's top secret.
Well, we got one top secret.
Big news.
Oh, well, yeah, we got the Spanish Civil War, which was just handed off to MMP. That was Vinny Maresca, Eddie Van Houten, who I mentioned earlier, and myself with a primary design team. But as always, we had a ton of play testers, a lot of very good input from a lot of people. Fernando Managua, I hope I got his name pronounced right there, was a Spanish ASLer, had the original rule set. And he, you know, talked with me about it, and Vinny, and we discussed it. And he said, look, you know, I'm kind of getting out of the hobby, but I'd like to see this come to fruition someday. And, you know, you guys are working with MMP. That's why I want to have put it out. Here, take this, see what you can do with it. You know, and I looked through the rules, and I had a lot of interesting ideas, but they didn't always translate well into ASL as written. They're a little too wordy, you know, a little too complex. They need to be trimmed, but the concept was great. So that's basically what we did. Vinny and I got together and worked the rules. And then we needed authentication for Spanish things. we talked to Eddie, and my first conversation with Eddie was great because Perry just told me, well, this guy lives in Madrid, and get in touch with him. And so I figured, oh, gee, if he only speaks Spanish and very broken English, it's going to be a very interesting Skype call, because I really only know a couple of words in Portuguese. I don't want to call the guy up and swear at him, so that's not going to work because those are the only words I know in Portuguese. So I got on the phone and oh, hi, mate, how are you? Huh? What? Well, it turns out Eddie was born in Dinant, raised in Belgium, educated in England, moved to Spain, got married, had kids, joined the Spanish Army, settled there, and he's lived his life there now. So he's completely bilingual. And because he served in the Spanish Army, he has access to the archives at Avias for all the military stuff.
Wow.
So one of the problems with doing the Spanish Civil War was that everybody's got an axe to grind. So when you get to the archives, you kind of dig in past that, and it's much easier to interpret what was really going on. They still padded things a little bit, but not as bad as some of the histories you can find. So that's one thing that was handed off to MMP. I'm not sure when it's going to come out. We're hoping for 2020.
Monday.
Yeah, Monday. Yeah, always Monday. And just did Best of the Bunker through yankeeasl.com. That name again, yankeeasl.com, all lowercase. And it's basically 20 of what we thought, we being Vic Provost, Tom Moore, and myself, were the best from the bunker scenarios, dispatches from the bunker, from scenarios 57 to 158. So it kind of picks up where the MMP product out of the bunker left off and does all the more recent scenarios and covers the better, what we feel are the best 20 anyway. And then there's just a lot of other stuff going on. There's a top secret one from MP I can't discuss, unfortunately, but that's coming soon. So you guys will find out about it soon enough. I got invited onto the design team for that, which is nice. Great bunch of guys. Won't say who, won't say what, but it's been a good time. And that's kind of how I got into Dinant. Actually, Dan was just putting up a Facebook thing. He's always teasing the map because the map was beautiful,
Yeah, the map sold people, man.
Oh yeah, ASL is being the patient lot they are, of course. Everybody was saying, "When's it coming out? When's it coming out? When?" And I just said one little sentence: Dan, put it out when it's ready. About an hour later, I get a beep. Oh, Dan Dolan. What's going on? Hey, Carl. You ever think about maybe writing a CG rules for Dinant? Help me in my big mouth. So, we thought about it for all of 10 seconds. Said, yeah, hell yeah. And a lot of research books later and a lot of time later, about 6 years later. I was the junior partner. I got in long after Nadir had the map up and long after Dan had the original concept. And
the ASL world is so lucky that you came walking along blindly through that alley.
Still have the scars.
Me and Lance just picked him up and put him in the car, and it was done. He had no place to go for his life.
Not the first time,
There's a non-disclosure agreement that was signed.
Yeah,
that's right.
But
bases were all covered.
My idea of a campaign game was I had 5 scenarios, I had 10 scenarios. The side that won 6 won the campaign game. You played them in order, chronological order, if it's the way they happened, starting with Prelude and going to Finale and Anhe. And you just play them in chronological order. And the winner of, if you tied, you tie. If you tied, you had to play the 11th scenario, which is the Almost Boys. So that'd be the tiebreaker. And Carl refined that a bit. He added a few things.
A tome or two.
But it was good. It was interesting. I mean, I learned a lot. From Xavier's first. Go ahead, make a scenario with the French in it. 20 years of my life.
Bring it all the way from that sketch, which you'll have to send us a picture of, and we'll try and post it up on the thing, and all the way to this final product, and then a glimpse at the future. Before we go, Nadir, are you working on anything you can just talk about, or?
Nothing that's imminent. I had several HASL projects, but they've all kind of taken a backseat to life in general.
Okay.
So they're on my to-do list.
Okay. Yep, for sure. Well, wrapping up then, should we,
We appreciate you guys joining us. Very, very
Thank you.
great
Yeah.
having.
Thanks for having us.
You guys.
We always get a lot of good listenership to the episodes where we don't talk much. So this is going to be a big one.
yeah.
So thanks for.
It's like he's trying to say we wouldn't shut up, Dan. I don't know.
No,
I talk all the time. My wife tells me I talk like a lunatic.
you can check the comments section. There's like a show with Jeff and I just looking at something about ASL, and there's a couple. And then if you get on important people in the world like you guys,
Yeah.
suddenly there's like 6 comments
Yeah.
or more. So anyway, thanks for joining us this evening, and can't thank you enough. So
Yeah. Take it
Did
easy.
you ever get
gentlemen.
the Elk Fest?
what?
Elk Fest. The little elk game that I sent you?
Oh, yeah, we have not explored that yet, so we will have to do that too. Yes.
Yeah, play that.
Yeah.
That'll give you, you gotta cross the river in that too.
Yes, right. All right, well then, bye everyone. And we normally sign off saying
Roll low,
and rally well,
but
but
not
not when you're
playing
playing us. So
Right on.
bye-bye
Take
everyone.
care, guys. Thank you very
Good night,
much.
guys.
Bye-bye.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So there we go. That was part 2 of the Dinant, of our Dinant series. It's a series, 2 parts.
So wonderful interview.
Yes, great interview. Great guys. We should have them on again. Or we could just listen again.
Yeah. Listen again.
That was fun.
But until next time,
It's this time. And I guess it's time to wrap up.
it is. So remember to
Roll low,
and rally well,
but
but
not when you're
not
playing
when you're
us.
playing us. Bye-bye everyone.
Bye, everybody. We never say clink and drink anymore, so I'm going to clink
Oh.
and drink you. Do you have anything?
Clink and drink, everyone.
Clink and drink, everybody. We tried. You drink filtered water at home?
No.
Just drink it out of a tap?
Should we go to filtered?
No. We live in by Lake Michigan. We have Michigan water. You have Lake Michigan water, right? Yeah. Best water in the world.
Yeah. Okay.
I was just curious because we have a filter that we've used for 20 years and we always use it, but I've started drinking.
Straight up.
Yes, because it's got more minerals in it.
Oh,
These
Did not
reverse
know that.
osmosis filters take out minerals, and that's why I'm shrinking.